Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to my thoughts, my overview, my overall thoughts on WWE TLC. Now I didn't see the pay-per-view live. I did download it through a torrent, and I didn't see the pay-per-view completely just yet. I'm going to do that later on. I'm probably going to record it, later on today while I'm out shopping or something like that. So, anyway. My thoughts on this overall pay-per-view, from what I've heard from a lot of people and from some of the stuff I've seen already, I have to say it was a pretty good pay-per-view. I mean, I liked the build-up that they had on Monday, and some of the matches did deliver. Now, some people have said the opening match, which was the triple threat match for the WWE for the Intercontinental Championship, for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, didn't really live up to, to what it could have been. But, some say it did, some say it didn't. But overall, I honestly think it probably did. I have to look at it again. I have to look at it, but I think it did, honestly. Now, the one thing I did have a problem with, though, was the fact that Dolph is still the champion. Now, I like how they retain. Now, I do agree with how they had him retain his championship. Have the belt fall out of the grasp of the two guys on top of the ladder, and then have the champion, who's probably at the bottom, run, grab it, and go. That's one way of doing it. It's one way of, retaining your championship. I mean, I think J-Dub, when I saw his review, said it best. It's kind of like football. When a quarterback throws the ball, and it gets intercepted and run back for a touchdown, then you know you effed up. And the same thing with a fumble. If the running back or even the quarterback fumbles the ball and it gets recovered by the other team, either they recover it to start a new fresher down for them, or they run it back for a touchdown, then you know you've effed up. And that's what happened with Kingston and Swagger. They effed up in the match and they allowed Ziggler to win. Now I'm pretty sure Teddy Long may have something to say about that on SmackDown this Tuesday, on a special live edition this Tuesday of SmackDown, so we'll see what happens. The next match of the night was the Divas Tag Team Table match. Now, they say it was the first time Divas ever going to go through tables in a match. They might be right, but I'm pretty sure Divas have gone through tables before in the WWE, whether it's in a match or not. So, anyway, Laycool took on Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Now, this was a match I did see. I did watch this match, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was probably one of the better Diva matches, if not probably the better Diva match of the year for the WWE. I know they probably I know the creative staff and whoever was in charge of this match told Laycool and Beth and Natalya, go out there and do what you got to do to get people talking. Do what you got to do. And that's probably what they did. They went out and they did what they had to do. They put on a decent, gimmick match, even for Divas. And I love the symbolicness. I love the symbolicness of the fact that Laycool got put through that pink table with the cartoonish images of them as witches. Natalya and Beth showed them on SmackDown. I love how the symbolicness of it, showed through there, because to me, anytime I've seen, I know this has happened in wrestling before. Anytime a wrestler goes through something that is symbolic, has something used on them that's symbolic of them, that usually means that wrestler or that team is gonna, their error, of, like, say, being in the main event, or being, the top person in the division, that era is done for now. Or it just means that person or that team's just going to simmer down, and they're going to cool down, and they're not going to, do as much as they should. They're just going to, I'm not saying Laycool is not going to be in the title picture. They still will be, but they're not going to be, as in it as much. You know what I'm saying? I've got a feeling they're going to open the door and they're going to allow Caitlyn to finally cash in against Natalya. They're going to allow Natalya and Beth to meet one-on-one. They're going to allow Melina to get a shot, Gail to get a shot, and Alicia. Now, obviously, I'm not in charge of WWE booking the Divas, but you know what? I just feel that with them going through that table that had the cartoonish those witchy cartoon pictures of them, is symbolic of the fact that they may start to cool down and just step aside and let other divas, you know, have the opportunity. Now, it could also mean it's the end of an era. Now you might say, oh thank God, the Laycool era is done, right? Well, the Laycool era, the era of Laycool acting as childish Valley girls or teenage Valley girls may be over. But the era I believe that could come out of this is of Laycool being more adult-like, more mature, acting more grown up, and realizing, you know, we can't act childish around, you know, Natalya or Beth. The other divas maybe, but we can't act childish towards them. We gotta stand up, we gotta face them, we gotta, you know, you get the idea. So that's what I believe. It's gonna go, that's symbolic of something. It's you know, but it was pretty cool. And I gotta give credit to Beth Phoenix, you know, she took a nasty landing outside, when Michelle tossed her outside, she took a nasty landing. But I believe, honestly believe Michelle's gonna, honestly, if Beth had got some injury out of it or got a stinger or something like that, Michelle may get a little reprehending, may get reprehended for that, maybe not, you know, because some people say she's married to the Undertaker, but I think she may get a little bit of a reprehending, and who knows, maybe they'll have her out of the ring for a while, who knows. So, but Beth and Natalya won, and I like that, and we'll just see what happens for them. But I believe Laycool is going to simmer down and cool down from this, or the era of Laycool acting as childish Valley girls is going to end, and the era of Laycool acting more serious and more grown up and mature is going to begin. So we'll see what happens. Now the third match of the night was a bonus match for the tag team titles. It was Heath, Slater and Justin Gabriel challenging Santino and Vladimir. Now it looked like it would be an okay match, but of course Nexus interferes and WWE just wastes an opportunity of probably having a good tag team title match just to promote out Barrett looking strong and everything, and you know, just showing what he plans to do to Cena. So that was it there. And then the fourth match of the night was the ladder match for the #1 contendership to the WWE title. I did not see this match, but from what a lot of people say, this was one of the matches that stole the show. It stole the show, because when I saw the replays after the match was over, I have to say I do agree on it, because both Morrison and Sheamus gave it their all. Both went through a ladder. I mean, God, you know. And then someone saying Morrison did a corkscrew over a ladder, from a top rope over a ladder. I have to see that to believe it. I have to see that to believe it, and it probably is true. But anyway, yeah, Morrison does win this match. Now remember what I said would happen if either Morrison or Sheamus won this match. What did I say was going to happen? I said whoever won the #1 contendership, that would tell us who would win the WWE Championship. And ironically, the WWE Championship, which was the tables match, followed this. And The Miz, of course, retained. Now, some people have a problem with The Miz on how he won it, how the ending of the match came about, and how he won. Because what happened is that Alex Riley, of course, interfered. This caused Randy, who was about to, I think, put Miz through a table or something like that, shove Miz off and into the referee. This allowed Riley to come in, interfere in the match, but get put through a table for his troubles. Now, Miz, of course, being the heel, capitalizes on this, hits the skull-crushing finale on Randy, pushes Riley out of the debris of the table, puts Randy in his place. Now you think, hey, that's a good move for a heel champion. That's how a heel champion should work. A heel villain bad guy champion should win a match, by making it look like they did the job, but they didn't. But believe it or not, and I have to agree with this, for the first time in a while, it didn't work. It did not work in Miz's favor. Instead, the referee sees what happens on the Titantron, says, hell no, you ain't doing it this way. Match gets restarted. Miz pushes Riley into Randy Orton, who's trying to get back into the ring on the apron, and Randy goes through a table. Now, Miz retains, which means we get set up for the Morrison-Miz match at the Royal Rumble. Now, let me just say this, you could disagree. I would not be surprised if Randy does get added into the equation and it's turned into a triple threat. I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping they, I probably wouldn't mind either way, because I'm pretty sure all three could put on a good match in a triple threat. But one-on-one, I would love to see Morrison and Miz, and here's why. Because I believe this is WWE's way of making up for them dropping the ball with Michaels and Jannetty. Honest to God truth. Because when Michaels and Jannetty first split up, Michaels and Jannetty never really had an opportunity to, when the program was still fresh, when the rivalry was still fresh, never really had an opportunity to wrestle for the grandest prize in the WWE, the WWE Championship. They never had that opportunity. I mean, they had to wait literally about, what, 4 years later, after Michaels turned babyface and Jannetty recently turned heel and joined with Al Snow to become the New Rockers. They had to wait till then to give Jannetty, to put Michaels and Jannetty in a WWE title match, and instead of putting it on a pay-per-view, they put it on Raw, from what I understand. Now, they could have put it on a pay-per-view, mainly in your house, but still, they did not give them a grand stage to, to have it on. And they dropped that ball. They dropped it. I mean, they could have had Jannetty come back, be rejuvenated and everything. Instead of putting him in that tag team with Al, they could have had him rejuvenated and have his focus be, right after WrestleMania, on Shawn Michaels. That could have been it. They could have built it to the point that instead of having Michaels and Vader at SummerSlam and Michaels and Sid at Survivor Series, you could have had Jannetty and Michaels. You get what I'm saying? And the rivalry wasn't even fresh anymore. It basically had simmered down to a point that it was just like an average match. So that's why I believe WWE's probably going to hopefully go in that direction with Miz and Morrison. Because everybody's always saying Miz and Morrison are like the Rockers. Morrison's like Shawn Michaels, Miz is like Shawn Michaels. But some may say Miz is more like a mixture of Michaels and Jannetty. Well, Morrison is more like Shawn Michaels, if not going to probably surpass that. So that's why I believe WWE is going to do this, because it's their way of making up for dropping the ball when they did. Probably not in 92, 93, 94, but basically like in 96. Because they had an opportunity right there, right in front of them, just like I said. With everything that I said, instead of putting Jannetty in a tag team match, in tag teams, they could have Jannetty refreshed, they could have him focused on Shawn Michaels, they could have pushed him, and I guarantee you, they could have had a great match at SummerSlam Survivor Series. But they never did that. Yeah, they had an Intercontinental Championship match at the Rumble, once or twice, I think. But that was it. They never let them compete for the grand prize on one of the grandest stages, even later on. Because I guarantee you, what Miz and Morrison will probably do could have been what they could have done. But anyway, hopefully that's what WWE is going to do. Because to me, it looks like that's why this match is probably going to happen. Now, the match after that was for the World Heavyweight Championship, Fatal 4-Way TLC. According to a lot of people, this too stole the night. It was a match that stole the night, or stole the show, I should say, along with the #1 Contenders ladder match. Back and forth, from what I understand, all over. And Edge becomes a 10-time world champion by winning the championship in this match. Now I have to reiterate something that CM Punk mentioned, I think briefly on Raw this past Monday. He said that Edge has an opportunity to be a 10-time champion, and he said something. When he said this, he said something about that being sort of a big deal. Because let me explain. Now let me explain why it's a big deal. Now some of you may say, oh, the championships are nothing but props now, and they don't really mean anything. Okay, that's all right. I give you credit on that. Maybe some of the championships, if not most of them, don't really mean anything right now. But let me explain to you. Whether they mean something or not, let me explain to you. when somebody, depending on how long they've been in that company, whether they've been there, let's see, Edge has been in the WWE, what, since 98, so that's 12 years? Whether they've been in there 12, 20, 15, whatever, whether they've been in this business for 15 years, like I think Edge has been 15, 16 years, when somebody becomes a 10-time champion, and it's all within the same company, that automatically, that 10th championship reign makes them a legend automatically. And it automatically locks them in for a Hall of Fame selection in the future. Now some people say, well, Ric Flair wasn't acknowledged as a former WWE champion in WCW. No, he wasn't, not when he returned. But it was like towards the end that they finally acknowledged it, and that's why he's always been known as the 16-time world champion. Now Triple H, some may say, oh, he only won his 10 titles, his 13 titles, because he's, you know, he's married to the McMahon family. He's been close with the McMahon family. Maybe true, maybe not. But when Triple H won that 10th title, that automatically locked him in as a legend and as a Hall of Famer. Yeah, you know, Triple H and you know, Edge may not have the accomplishments and all that of a Shawn Michaels and an Undertaker, but it doesn't matter. When you win that 10th title, I don't know, that 10th world title, whether it's in WWE, whether it's in another promotion, whether it's, like I said, with, you know, you get the idea. When you win that 10th championship, you become a legend. I mean, look at Kurt Angle. TNA acknowledges the fact that he's a former WWE champion, and when he won his championships in TNA, he became, what, a 13-time champion there? 12-time champion? When he won his 10th title in TNA, that automatically locked him in. That automatically locked Kurt Angle in as a legend, and if he ever retires, automatically locked him in for a Hall of Fame selection. So, again, that's good that Edge won, and I'm wondering where they're going to go with this. I know they're going to give Kane a rematch at the Rumble. Hey, maybe they'll add Christian to the equation in the future. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But it's good to see Edge win. Now, for the main event, which was the chairs match between John Cena and Wade Barrett. Now, I know some people have been complaining about this. People have been complaining about it because it was just added this past Monday, along with 3 other matches. The fact that, you know, it was the last match, it was the main event, instead of either the WWE or the world title matches being the main event. And, you know, they just, you know, some people just didn't like this idea. Well, let me explain this. Let me explain something to those that kind of didn't like the idea that the chairs match was the last match of the night. There's 3 reasons. 1, the storyline between Cena, Nexus, and mostly Cena and Barrett had 6 to 7 months to build. Basically, over a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. 2, what was I going to say? Well, yeah, like I said, you know, first of all, like I was saying, first of all, it had a little over a year, 6 to 7, little over half a year, 6 to 7 months to build. 2, you want to send. 2, you want 2. It's got the most. Well, basically, it's 2 reasons. Basically, what I mentioned, and then 2, you want to send the WWE Universe and mostly the Cena Nation fans, either the little kids, wives, women's, or fans, or any kind of Cena fan. You want to send them home happy, and that's what they did. Those were the 2 reasons. 1, it had a longer time than Miz and Orton and Kane and Edge to build up, as well as that Rey and Alberto had a longer time. It had a more compelling story to it. And 2 or 3, I guess it's 3, I guess you could say. You want to send the fans home happy, and that's what it was. Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. The 3 reasons: 1, 6 to 7 months to build up. 2, it's the last pay-per-view of the year for WWE. And 3, you want to send the WWE Universe, and most importantly, the Cena Nation fans home happy happy, whether they're kids, wives, women, or any fan of Cena's. You want to send them home happy, and that's what they did. With John Cena defeating Wade Barrett in this match. Now, the one thing I have noticed about WWE, one thing I noticed WWE has done with John Cena when it comes to some of these rivalries, whether he's ending it or cooling it down or something like that, what they do is they have him dispose of his opponent in a more vicious way. I mean, earlier this year they had him attitude adjust Batista through a stage. I think at Extreme Rules. Not Extreme Rules, but I think I don't know which one it was. Over the Limit, I think it was. Over the Limit. They had him do that. And then tonight, or last night, they had Wade Barrett get buried under a bunch of chairs. Now, yeah, Cena placed like some kind of platform, little table, some kind of rolling table or rolling platform where the chairs were on top of Barrett. And then he launched, basically he pulled down a whole line of chairs that were part of the staging down on Barrett to end the night. So I've noticed they do that because I think the reason they do that is because they're going to move Cena on to other things. Now, will he still have a program at Nexus? Yeah, he will, but it probably won't be as bad. It won't be as bad. It won't be as, oh, Nexus is going to make my life a living hell. No. It's more like, Nexus, bam, 1, 2, 3, I beat you. That's what it is. So, overall, I have to say it was a good pay-per-view, and from what I've heard and from what I've seen, and, you know, that's all I'm going to say about it. You know, tell me what you guys think, because, honestly, some of the things I pointed out, I could be wrong about, but we'll see what happens. So, until next time. Oh, and by the way, I don't think this is the end of Nexus. I think Nexus is just going to start to cool down, and then they're going to disband. That's all that's going to happen. They'll still be around, they'll probably feud with other people, but they're just going to cool down, and then they'll disband probably around the draft, if there is one. So, that's all I'm going to say about it. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.